This is a story about how I ended up needing to get a restraining order on my next door neighbor. And when I say next door, I mean literally feet away, condo-like situation, one step and I'm at her front door. This is going to probably take a couple parts, so I apologize in advance, but this story is worth telling. I have not told anyone other than close friends and family, and it's been a couple months now since I got the restraining order. Family of 5 moved in about a year ago. Mother, father, 3 young adult sons. Mother seemed like the ringleader, ended up being the ringleader. Everything right from the jump was sketchy. They didn't have any furniture, nor did they want any furniture. They spent all their time at the dumpsters, around them, in them, walking around people's car, and this all happened all night long. They would go in and out their back door all night long. I live in a very quiet neighborhood, and this would get my dog barking literally all night. And they didn't sleep during the day either. It was eventually found out by the neighborhood. They were caught doing, I don't really want to mention it on here, but let's just put it this way. The mother and father had a problem, and I believe the kids did as well. It all started over a dog. We are only allowed to have one dog under 30 pounds. They had a very big dog. I didn't care. I never said anything. Until one day I started getting messages, everyone saying that had I seen that they had a pit bull. Now that would make it 2 large dogs. My dog's reactive. Wasn't overly thrilled about that information. I ended up seeing the dad with the dogs. I was talking to the maintenance guy who I'm friendly with about it. The son caught it, filmed it, told the mom. She lost it. I did find out she was dog sitting. I went to their door, tried to talk to her, ended up talking to the dad. I apologized. We squashed it. So it seemed. We didn't, but it seemed that way at the time. Later that night, I saw a car parked behind mine. It ended up being them, and they were screaming. The woman was screaming the C word up towards my apartment. Woke up the next day, my car had been keyed. We were told by the police to get a camera facing the parking lot, because the only cameras we had did our front door, back door, and the housing authority agreed, put a camera up. So we did. I also put a note in my car, and the police officer said it was a good idea as a deterrent just to say you're on camera, please just leave my car alone. Not address to anybody. Now, everyone else was concerned and asked questions. The only people that were irate about the note were them. Guilty conscience. So the note and the new camera really just set them off. They were so angry at this point. And a couple days later, my husband came flying down the stairs, and I heard him screaming, "Stay away from my car." Well, to find out, she had been looking in our car. She was leaning up against our car, walking around our car. We had just had our car keyed. Obviously, this was upsetting. Well, what she was really doing in hindsight is looking for trouble. She wanted to antagonize us, which worked that night. I just looked out the door to see what was going on, and I was who she was looking for. She started screaming at me that she was threatening my life, my dog's life. She told me I don't know who I'm messing with, and that basically my life is about to be a living hell, and she wasn't lying. The police had to come several times that night until finally the police suggested that I go down to the station with them and try to talk to the judge for an emergency restraining order, which I did, and it was granted. Now, this was just a temporary one, and we had to go on Monday. And when we went, the issue was she decided to try to retaliate and get one on me. By the time we saw the judge late in the day, we were there all day. It, I think, just kind of looked like a tit for tat. I only had 2 things at that point. You need 3. She had nothing. She was making up stuff. And the judge just basically told us to go home and try to just live peacefully. I took that very seriously, and that's all I wanted. So I came home, and I tried to do everything I could without talking to them to let them know that I am not a problem for them. I don't want trouble. I just want peace. They had another idea. So I'm going to go over to part 2, but just so you know, from this point forward, this is where it all really started. Just absolute living hell for the next 5 months. See you in part 2.